This is based off the many other Iceberg videos, such as the Minecraft one or the Super Mario 64 one. The original Iceberg was created by WitheredHarp192, who has given his blessing to this video, as well as helping me clarify some issues with the script and providing this version of the Iceberg with many more layers and references. Thanks also must be given to the NLSS meme database spreadsheet. I couldn't have done this without them either, as they provided links and explanations for some stuff which has since been removed from their original platforms. With that said, let's jump into the first tier. Level 1, Northern Lion tier. Hey everybody. This is NL's signature saying that he uses to open up every video with. The first instance of him using this was in episode 201 of his Binding of Isaac Wrath of the Lamb video. Previously he would say, "Hello everybody." COAC. COAC, or COAC1, stands for Crack Open a Cold One, and is one of the first things said by Dan during the first game of the day on Team Unity. This is often followed up by Dan's improv introduction of the group following a certain theme of the week. DNA. A rearrangement of NLSS member and Big Brother contestant Dan Giesling's first name. During a Pintarillo stream, Dan was given DNA and drew it by drawing himself being put into a blender to create DNA, and thus DNA gets spammed with every mention of Dan. Career suicide. An offhanded comment by NL in 2012 suggesting that it would be career suicide for him to still be playing Isaac in 2014. He is still playing Isaac to this day. Luna. Luna is the codename for NL's baby that was used during the pregnancy announcement video, although NL has noted that it isn't her real name, as instead just a false name for her privacy. In a 2017 episode of Princess Maker, Kate suggests that they call their daughter Luna. This could be a coincidence or give credit to the time travel theory. Gourd pogging. Gourd is slang used to describe a head, so to say one is pogged out of their gourd is to be incredibly hype or excited. This seems to be an almost entirely NLSS saying though, although instances of gourds of pog has surfaced in other locations, such as in the Sekiro meme. Egg. Egg is the nickname given to NL based upon the shape of his bald head. This oftentimes is posted with images of other bald men asking if this is the egg, or that scene in Hamlet where someone is called an egg insultingly and then stabbed. Level 2. Minkus tier. Katana. During one of NL's PO unboxing episodes, it was revealed that he had been sent a katana by a fan named Amir. He and Kate took some photos with them, but proceeded to throw it away, although the photos carry a strange aura to them. ABS meta, always be spiking. ABS stands for always be spiking, and was the mantra NL adopted while playing Smash Ultimate. He would play as Donkey Kong and go for hype spikes using Donkey Kong's forward aerial. This would also come to include cargo grabbing people and sending them up into the stage from off the ledge, which also resulted in spikes. The pot play. The pot play was an infamous segment from a Binding of Isaac episode in which NL, trying to get Small Rock, spends all of his money on spirit hearts and rerolls instead of a bomb in order to blow up the pots. NL passed over 5 bombs in the shop and used one of his own alongside the 2 spirit hearts he purchased. Acquiesce. Dan has used the word to mean any number of things, but more so has become a form of acquiring instead of its actual meaning, so now the word has entered Danglish and has become a staple of Team Unity Tuesdays. Resin. Resin comes from Dan's Dark Souls playthrough where he denounces any item in a game which makes it dramatically easier, such as is the case with Gold Pine Resin. This has now become a term in video games and competitions for stuff which is allowed, however will put the player at an advantage and essentially not provide the true challenge of the game. This could also be considered a form of cheese strap. 69. This is just the sex number that is met with 2 responses in chat, either a nice or the lion slab emote, potentially giving some cursed or mythological meaning with its ties to the slab. Feel down the stairs and ravioli on me. During a game of Fibbage, Mouth wrote down 2 things. One was true and the other was false. Either he feel down the stairs and ravioli on me, or sugar maple is my favourite tree. The bizarre phrasing of the first one led some people to choose sugar maple, potentially an example of mind flooding. It turned out that feel down the stairs was the truth, and has since formed a series of memes in which they end with some phrasing of feel down the stairs. There are 40 pages of variations to this joke. Sandwich meta. This spawned from a discussion on the subreddit as to what counts as a sandwich. Mouth jumped in and a back and forth quickly formed. This has since moved on to other subjects such as, is a hot dog a sandwich? How about a burrito? This now includes any object in which a bread-based product encapsulates something. Kiadi Mundi. Alongside a katana, NL would constantly receive action figures of the Star Wars character Kiadi Mundi. NL has stated that this is his favourite Jedi, and the count for figures reached a total of 10. NL has since stated that he has thrown out all the figures. Level 3. The Cursed Tier. Roundtable. Roundtable was a current events gaming podcast featuring NL, Nick, Bear, and Memphis. The podcast had many moments, including the cursed egg image used for this tier, although the podcast dissolved in 2018 for numerous reasons. NLSS Civil War. This civil war was the culmination of Ryan suggesting that Bear Taffy would be a terrible rapper on the October 11th, 2017 NLSS. Bear Taffy dropped a banger, and a response made by Dan was also released, spawning the two sides of the civil war. Apollo, Josh, Nick, Memphis, and many others dropped bars, and the resulting tracks were enough to create a full 50-minute album with interweaving narratives. Don't Hurt Me, I'm Ryan. During a Human Fall Flat segment of the NLSS, but also during an NLSS from 2017, Ryan remarked about how he went to see the Addams Family movie as a child. He was so scared of the detached hand coming towards him that he said in the theatre, "Don't hurt me, I'm Ryan," as he was trying to explain to the hand that he was not what the hand was looking for, resulting in this meme. Bald Demon. During a playthrough of Hitman, one woman refers to Agent 47 as a bald demon. This stuck and was later combined with an image of NL's participation in Champions of Fire to create the 4-part emote, Bald Demon. Boobily. This came from the Whirly Rig theme in Planet Coaster. The original word is Asia Boobily, but has since become Boobily and a default song for any pirate or maritime game. Soars Only, Lost Media. During a game of UCH, Apollo remarks how they will someday try Soars Only, as the previous attempt didn't make it to YouTube. It then became a funny saying during the series, and its variations of blank only became used whenever it was one item in use for the game. Top right, by the way. NL's parody of Ninja's check for Twitch Prime subs in his channel. Ninja asked his audience to check and was flooded with Twitch Prime subscriptions. NL has since sarcastically adopted this as top right by the way, as a way to get people to sub using Twitch Primes and also make fun of aggressive subscribing reminders. This also gets spammed in any game where something is needed that is in the top right. 9mm Beretta. One of Rob's answers to a Quiplash question, responding with killing your family with a 9mm Beretta. It became an example of Rob's amazing answers and a mockery of the in-joke nature of Quiplash. It could also be a reference to one of Rob's short films in which he points a gun at the camera. Be advised. This started out as NL's criticism of modern shooters, such as Titanfall's use of "be advised" to warn the player of enemy mech drops, with them oftentimes coming at a constant rate. This phrase also crosses over into Memphis's exploits at GameStop. Level 4. The Memphis tier. Dog Hatred. During NL's Fallout New Vegas playthrough, he killed multiple dogs and then proceeded to eat their meat. This also ties into the fact that NL has 2 cats that he refers to as his human sons, perhaps boosting his hatred for dogs. Dry Baby Best Item. During one of NL's Isaac runs, his DPS was so bad that it was a legitimately better strategy to hide behind Dry Baby and use it to damage the enemies. This legendary run resulted in one of the most popular NL fan videos, although until NL does his Isaac tier list, we won't know for sure Dry Baby is the best item. Snurt. During Quiplash, Corey used this as a family-friendly swear, which NL proceeds to ruin by saying, "Oh yeah, snurt in my pussy," which soon became an in-joke in the segment. Poutineer. Mouth's app development idea involving a Google Maps/Yelp hybrid for exclusively finding poutine in your area. It was laughed at when first mentioned, although it could be gaining steam as NL looks for ground-level investments. Rob's Fridge. During a Wreckfest segment, Rob laments about how he can't put Swedish meatballs in the fridge due to lack of space. A bit ensues about the arrangement of his fridge, and Rob posts a photo of his stocked fridge. Ghost Bill, an improv bit in which Rob pretends to be a spooky ghost that has infiltrated the Discord call. This could also suggest that Rob is truly dead, given he plays deaf in his short film, or at least has ties to the supernatural. Dragon Slayer Doppelganger, a short film Mouth made with NL in high school. The production included 3 different mics and many moments from NL. It currently holds a 9.7 on IMDb, and at one point was the highest rated short film on the site. Maze. A Pintarillo meme involving tennis rackets looking like corn, and a reference to the "we call it maize" commercial. Now corn is interchangeable with tennis and also acts as a pseudo-fact joke to suggest that the Indians called it maize. Mindify. A troll based off the Hearthstone card Loot Hoarder that made its start in UCH, referring to the card's voice line as it enters play. Could be the predecessor to the Loot Goblin usage in Team Unity Tuesdays. Nameless King. The only boss in Dark Souls 3 that NL didn't beat was oftentimes linked with Hollow Knight as games NL needed to go back and beat. NL eventually did go back and beat the Nameless King, and just like that, the demands of chat were silenced. 50 Nugs. A challenge attempted by members of the NLSS with the goal to eat 50 McDonald's Chicken McNuggets, with many falling just short, including Apollo at Nugget 19. Nobody attempted a second round, and the completion of the challenge has since been occasionally used in food discussions. Nutmeg. Apollo had wanted to buy some essential spices and foods to use in a number of different meals. When asked what he purchased, he said nutmeg. The crew then went back and forth over the different types of meals in which nutmeg was an essential spice, and whether the purchase was even valid given Apollo's goals. Murph. The name given to black holes in UCH, named after the daughter in Interstellar and Matthew McConaughey's shouting of it. He says it a total of 79 times in the movie, and has now become the default name for black holes in any game. Level 5. The Northern Tier. Ranch and the Driz. A fictional radio station with all the tropes, such as annoying sound effects and rude hosts. This is also tied to Gunberg, creating an NLSS radio universe. Mind Flood. Mind flooding started when NL's chat was spammed with the emote The Thing, which NL thought its hair was hands, confusing him and distracting him from the task at hand. This is oftentimes combined with BreeDD whenever anyone becomes confused on the show from too many things or a distracting thing. Ghoul Shower. Dan's invention to help deal with flowers in your garden, summoning Ghoul from World of Warcraft and using a shower spell to get rid of the flowers, 100% not related to piss in any way. The MLSS. The MLSS stands for the Mouth Live Super Show, and Mouth often credits himself as the host, owner, and operator of the NLSS. Perhaps Mouth is truly pulling the strings from behind the scenes. Muck Thafis. Back when the crew used to communicate through Skype, NL's computer wasn't powerful enough to record Isaac and receive Skype messages, leading him to tab out of the game to check the messages, only to realize it was Memphis sending these messages, leading to the fuck Memphis comments, and then Muck Thafis. Monster Time board game. Rob's original amazing answer about a game designed to scare children. This response sent the crew off with how blunt it is. This later became the crew name for Monster Seeking Monster. Marvel Pop. Another quiplash answer which became so bad it got reused and turned into an in-joke. NLLSS. The NLSS stands for the Northern Lion Live Super Show, but instinctively it makes sense for it to be the NL Super Show, which isn't the case. This often stumps newer guests or fans and becomes a moment of enlightenment when they realize the true meaning, not to be confused with the NLSSS. Judo Chop. An Austin Powers reference during NL's Hitman playthrough as he excessively sought to chop people with his hands in the game. This further cemented the bold person equals NL theory when he judo chopped in front of a live audience at Champions of Fire. Dumplings. This comes from a Cursed Robert tweet which says, "She wanted the dumplings again, and I got her some hand-pulled noodles too, Lunny face." The cursed nature of this tweet, combined with the double entendre, made it a subject of ridicule on the NLSS. Truck Cock. Nick's quiplash answer about a rarely seen car ornament, plays off truck nuts and Rob's if you had a truck bit. Wheat Thins. NL's devilish story about how he tortured a fellow classmate with the promise of wheat thins before yeeting them into the trash can, often told through the perspective that NL believed he had done nothing wrong. Teacher, Obama. When NL taught in Korea, one of his students pointed to a black man in one of the books and said the infamous line, to which NL had to correct him. This was not meant as an insult, but instead was an example of the cultural differences in South Korea. Level 6. The Demon Tier. Give that big pussy some air. A less than ideal phrasing an old lady gave towards NL's cat when suggesting that it needed more room to breathe in NL's cat-carrying backpack. Minion Birth. A truly cursed phrase from Champions of Fire 2, when one of the hosts, during a Minion Rug segment, poised that, "I want my first kid to be a minion, like, actually just come out of the womb as a minion. How fun would that be?" We will never truly know how fun it would be. Swedish Pizza. Dan's joke about a Norwegian girl that Mouth knew, suggesting a lewd interpretation of Swedish pizza and using it as a bait about the best food in Toronto. Actual Swedish pizzas are their own distinct thing. Whoop. A sound effect used in Pintarello whenever a player has flagged another's drawing for whatever reason. It became a tool to remove a player before they had even started their drawing, resulting in a cascade of whoop sound effects as people spammed the whoop sound effect in the game. Kairo Seijiro. The forbidden swordsman that fought off 2 attackers on a train. He passed away in 2016, although his quotes and other studied the blade variants became introduced into the show, possibly the master who trained Kate and NL with the katana. Dick Fuck the Dong Smasher. NL's first example when coming up with a randomly generated name for an orc in Shadow of Mordor. The manner in which he said it became a soundbite, and also the voice of the orc is similar to John Lemon and other British impersonations. Ia Thankful. Part of one of Rob's nonsense quiplash answers, became a spam in chat whenever something to do with robots or AI came up given the quiplash answer. Fancy Remix. NL's parody of Iggy Azalea's Fancy, with the twist being trying to promote healthy habits, such as drinking water over soda. This is just one of NL's many parodies, but it seems to be one of the oldest or at least most obscure. You eyeballing me? Something said by a powder ganger in Fallout New Vegas before NL blew up his head and sent his gourd into the grandstands. Boiled triangles. A tweet from NL showing some weird triangle-shaped food that apparently tasted worse than it actually looked. Stream intros. NL used to play different fans' custom NLSS intros before the stream, including Mindflood variations. NL has since stopped the practice, probably to do with his stance on the pervasiveness of the DMCA on Twitch, although there was a golden age of stream intros and many of them can still be found online. Level 7. Shadow Tomo tier. Goldman. The alter ego of Nick, covered entirely in gold-coloured clothes on stream to become the Goldman. This all started because of a pair of light-up golden sneakers he saw on Amazon. Hood Milk. A type of milk that Nick often buys, which was mocked for its hilarious name, in a similar manner to how they sometimes make fun of bagged milk in Canada. The actual Hood Milk doesn't conjure the image that first comes to your mind. Rob's fuck number. Rob's fuck number is the number of condoms Rob believes one uses in an average coitus session at 1.15 condoms. Nick also believes that this is the correct amount, whereas NL and Josh sit at thinking that the answer is 1.01. The Swarm. Bzzz. During a no NLSS, Nick created a loud, edgy subscriber notification that plays whenever someone subscribes. This is also similar to Up Down Welcome to the Lion Pride, and eventually developed into a bee swarm bzz hybrid. Welcome to Brawlhalla. The loud voice clip whenever you open Brawlhalla. This was sometimes posted with T-Tours and actually got some people timed out, and could be considered the precursor to the Ready Player 4 meme. Markiplier. NL confessed that many years ago he got an email from a young Markiplier who admired NL's content and wanted to collaborate with him, though through no malice on NL's part he just didn't respond, and oftentimes will wonder what his career could have been like if he had taken that collaboration with Markiplier, most often used with some sense of time travel. Gunburger. A fake ad for an overly patriotic American restaurant that serves gun-themed burgers and combines adjectives for food with guns, playing off Texas's love of guns, barbecue brisket, and being a man. Bree-dee-dee. This is the song that is used in Golf It's Haunted Mansion section. It has since become a Mind Flood staple, and its twisted sound became an earworm that even made its way into some intros. Delete your blog. In the game Pokemon Apex, the main character checks their Tumblr to see a message which says, delete your blog, to which they respond with, yeah, as if, highlighting how absurdly strange the game was. Camcorder test, NL's dirty joke. A video of NL telling a joke about how can you tell if your dog is gay. The video was up for years before being taken down around the time of the birth of his daughter. The title of the video was Camcorder Test. Time Travel Omega Nut. In a Twitch clip, NL poses if one could ejaculate so hard as to burst through the tip of the condom and impregnate someone with an omega nut, given how astronomically powerful it would have to be to do so. There was a second conversation, with the crew discussers going back in time to the start of their nut, creating a time-traveling omega nut. The theory goes that NL travelled forward in time to actually achieve the mega nut, resulting in Luna. Level 8. The Zany tier. Ricky Mountain. When asked to name a famous Ricky during Family Feud, Kate responded with Ricky Mountain. Rocky Mountain is actually an area in Vancouver, so this could be a flub, or perhaps she knew of the mountain from Game of Thrones and thought his name was Ricky. The mysterious Ricky Mountain has never been found. Brandon the Fish. A mysterious chat user who said, fuck your ads, and became a villain in NL's chat. He has a Twitter but is currently protected. He has a skin based off him in Realm of the Mad God as well. Cloudcam. During an NLSS in which they used cams, NL and Josh discovered that they could change their appearances to give themselves crowns or turn themselves into sharks. This culminated in them turning themselves into clouds, giving rise to the term cloud cam. This is also where the term sky at night, clouds to light came from. NL invades Josh. This was a time during the NLSS when members of the crew would invade others' games, with this specific example being NL invading Josh's game, coming from the video Northern Lion has invaded Mr. Green Man. Whilst NL was recording an episode of The Binding of Isaac, his recording software would glitch out and display a series of green pixels all over the stream. NL incorporated this into the character of Mr. Green Man, similar to Return the Slab. You choked? On me? Nick tweeted about a pack of Jolly Ranchers that he choked on, and managed to get a cursed response from the actual Jolly Rancher Twitter account. The phrase has since included choking in video games. Green Door. In NL's playthrough of Heavy Rain, he couldn't locate the green door despite the fact that it was in front of him. This further plays into the Lion Blind crowd, and was the catalyst for NL suspecting he has glaucoma, no relation to Green Hats or Mr. Green Man. The technology was themselves. A befuddling answer in Quiplash gives way to Josh's theory about aliens, and how they couldn't find alien technology on Earth in dinosaur times because to the aliens, the technology was themselves. He was mocked when he first said it, but NL actually managed to turn it into a coherent idea. I want to come in Rainbow Dash. Before NL had his current streaming overlay, he would read out the names of everyone who has subscribed during his show, resulting in people creating absurd names in order to get him to say it. He changed it to the end of his show, and it stopped, but in turn created a bit where someone subscribed with a whole bunch of Twitch accounts at once to create a story that he would read aloud at the end. He now doesn't say subscriber names, and instead they show up on screen. I believe some of the accounts actually got banned because of their sexual nature. Blue Man. No relation to Mr. Green Man, this mysterious player joined a game of Quiplash during the NLSS and whooped everyone's ass. They thought it was Josh at first, but they then revealed themselves as a fan and were allowed to play out the segment. They currently have one of the highest winning percentages in Quiplash history. Mr. Toshi. NL's comedy bit where he pretends to ring a one Mr. Toshi's sushi. The intended gag is for his friends to pretend to do a stereotypical Asian accent and for NL to lambast them for it. Instead, no one fell for the bit and oftentimes flipped the script onto NL. He still maintains to this day that it was a good bit. NL is Zach. Never in a video game has a character had the mannerisms, references, and tastes in movies and music as Zach from Deadly Premonition. There are monologues of him talking to a voice in his head, which NL will take up the mantle of to respond to. The most famous of these is the cheerful movies bit from Deadly Premonition 1, or the Blue Thunder bit from Deadly Premonition 2. This theory states that NL actually is Zach, and is based on the similarities of the two. Tier 9, the Illuminati tier. Hip Hockers. NL's mishearing of a line from Limp Bizkit's Rolling, "Hey Rockers, Hip Hockers," instead of the actual line, "Hey Rockers, Hip Hoppers." This is scary enough, as NL usually has an encyclopedic knowledge of references, based on the encyclopedias he read as a kid. This also spawned an unofficial song that everyone in the crew recognized publicly except for NL. Docking. The act of putting one's penis into the foreskin of another man's penis. This was first mentioned by Josh and Nick, and caused NL to wonder how one would propose such an idea in a relationship, resulting in the phrase, "permission to dock," which became a running joke. 52-hour stream. An infamous 52-hour-long stream with numerous potentially cursed moments, including a full script read-through of Pulp Fiction, which was edited to actually fit the movie. They also read the entire script to Star Wars: A New Hope, and Josh fell asleep in a lobby and had to be woken up by chat. Jellies for Nick. Nick creates an absurdly surreal experience as his room reaches insanely hot temperatures on stream. He fills his overlay with odd jelly textured gifs. The range and creepiness of these jellies is vast. Green 1990. Green 1990 was a content creator who was on some of the older NLSS's, no relation to Mr. Greenman. He still posts on Twitter, but hasn't uploaded on YouTube in 2 years, or to Twitch in 3, unless he deleted his most recent VODs. Grey's Anatomy. NL did a playthrough of the truly awful Grey's Anatomy game. He never finished the game, and thus has had people bring it up jokingly as a Sunday game to play, although he never included it on his subscriber milestone reward sheet, so the chances are slim. Hot N-words. Nick recounted how he came up with the name Rock Lee Smile and how it's based on Rock Lee from Naruto. He then checks the subreddit r/Rock Lee and finds out that it's full of connections to hip hop and has a large usage of the N-word, with one specifically mentioning hot N-words. Bear then played a little beat for the crew to sign off on at the end of the show, and Nick raps about how he knows where a couple of hot N-words are. This gets immediately jumped on by the rest of the crew, and Nick doesn't really get a chance to defend or explain himself. Nick did nothing wrong. The thug of porn. NL mentions a video where he saw a porn star insert his nuts into a woman's ass while he fucked her, screaming "booyah" once he pulls his nuts out. This guy also went to jail apparently, and I do not know if he's been released. Poison Mushroom. An old Let's Play series NL did for Machinima in the early 2010s. The videos have since been deleted off the channel, but were luckily re-uploaded by a fan. Some of, if not the oldest Northern Line gaming content. The Slab's Curse. On the NLSS in a Spelunky segment, NL started seeing weird glitches in the game. Someone in chat, referencing Courage the Cowardly Dog, said to return the slab. NL had no clue what this meant, and so the chat spammed return the slab. This is now spammed whenever any cursed glitch happens during the stream. We do not know if NL did return the slab. Ryan's hair. Do not research. NL started losing his hair around age 19, however there exists photos of him from before then with his hair. These images are so strange to NL fans that even when he tells stories from his youth, others note that they just imagine a tiny bald NL. The results you find when you search for Ryan's hair may shock. This is why it's advised to not research into this matter. So that covers everything that you find on the original Iceberg, although if you allow me, you can take a step deeper. I present to you Tier 10, the Dunker Tier. NL is a time traveler. As stated with the Luna segment and the Omega Nut, it is believed NL travelled through time to create Luna. This wouldn't be the first time a member of the crew has time travelled, as we've been introduced to 2019 Josh and 1950s Bear. Mr. Greenman is Internet Terrorist. Internet Terrorist was a chat member who would join Golf with Your Friends segments and ruin it for the crew. They did it every time without fail, resulting in the temporary hiatus of Golf with Your Friends on the NLSS. The manner in which Greenman and Internet Terrorist interact with NL's stream could suggest that they are one and the same. NL said that he did know who Internet Terrorist is and was going to ban them from chat if they continued. Whether this was an empty threat or a last resort is unknown, but it stopped them. Perhaps the Internet Terrorist lurks in the shadows, waiting for his time to strike again. Mouth actually killed Last Grey Wolf. One of the most popular clips from the Team Unity PUBG streams was the clip of Mouth running into Apollo with his car. This was then posted onto YouTube with the caption, "Ever seen a fox kill a wolf?" The clip has over 4 million views. The theory goes that Mouth actually did kill Last Grey Wolf, resulting in Apollo's rebrand to Dumb Dog. Apollo's alternate Twitter still exists. Apollo created an alternative Twitter account to post his artwork that he had commissioned. This account was removed though by Apollo after he started receiving hate from people based on the artwork posted, although some suspect Apollo instead just created a new account and didn't post it out publicly, instead keeping it to an inner circle. Dan is a theory. During PUBG streams, Dan would sometimes ask Apollo about what a furry is. The end result of this was Dan using furry art for his PUBG videos, with a fan creating their own thumbnail for the crew to use. Dan's interest in furry culture and constant questioning and understanding of it make him poised to be a closeted furry. This wouldn't be the first time a member of the crew was suspected of being a furry, as Josh has signaled that he is willing to go to AnthroCon with Apollo. NL is secretly working on the Ava podcast. NL had half-heartedly given in to his chat's demands and said he would watch the anime Neon Genesis Evangelion and make a podcast of each episode, but only if it came to Netflix. To everyone's complete surprise, Netflix announced that they would be picking up the series. NL hasn't published an episode and unofficially said it isn't coming, but considering he has seen some Agretsuko, Ghibli movies, and played Doki Doki Literature Club, it could be a secret project he is working on, which would fit in with the themes of the show. It could also be that he wants to dump it in one go in a similar manner to how Netflix releases shows. Given COVID and the birth of his child, if the podcast is being worked on, it could be delayed for a while. NL pushed Mouth down the stairs. The idea comes from NL being a time traveler. When they were much younger, Mouth beat NL in a fight by putting him into a headlock. As revenge, NL travelled in time to when Mouth was going down the stairs and purposefully pushed him down the stairs, spilling ravioli on him. NL becomes the Prime Minister of Canada. NL played Among Us on stream with AOC and Jagmeet Singh and other noted leftist content creators. Later on in NLSS, someone suggested how crazy it would be to tell Luna that when Jagmeet becomes the Prime Minister of Canada, that NL played Among Us with him. The theory goes instead that NL will become the leader of the Liberal Party and become Prime Minister, or join the NDP and bolster their support and lead to an NDP victory. This is post-video Kazimoto here. Just want to thank everyone whose videos I used and the people I mentioned at the start. This was my biggest project, but I was very happy with how it turned out. Sorry it's not an anime video, but I hope you enjoyed it regardless, and I hope to see some more anime videos up soon. So thank you everyone. Adios.
Yo, it fits! It fits for Ryan.
C is the means of production.